today's video, I am doing episode 23 of my Create This Book series. In this video, I am going to be wrapping up the book and be doing the last official prompts that were left. This is basically the second last episode before the finale episode, and after that, we are going to have the grand final flip through. Without further ado, let's jump right in. The first prompt is called Create a Combo. Choose two of your favorite people, animals, or objects. Combine them. So for this prompt, I decided to go for objects, and I decided to combine different random objects together in a creative way. For example, there's a pencil case made out of chocolate bars and a light bulb with a fish tank in it. I also made an AirPod necklace, so a necklace with two AirPods in the center of it. Then I decided to make like a grid so that each object had its own box. Then I colored in each of these boxes in either pink, dark blue, or orange. This was a pretty fun prompt. I mean, at first it took me a while to even decide what I was going to do for it, which is probably why I left this prompt to do until the last moment when I was finishing up the book. Because, of course, you had to get really creative, and I wasn't going to do people or animals anyway, because that would have been too complicated, so I was really just left with objects. And yes, theoretically you can combine any two objects together, but to make that actually look good and presentable is another thing. Now you can see me coloring, and I did that with my colored pencils because there was a lot of different little details that I was going to be having to color in, and I didn't want, like, if I had used paint, it would have kind of overlapped with the background colors. I felt like this was just going to give it all a neat look. Also, you can kind of see in the side, I have this colored pencil bag, like it's in this little Ziploc, and I have so many colored pencils in it that I've kind of just collected over time. Since, of course, I've bought so many colored pencils over the years, different packets, different sets. That was about it for this page. There's not much left to say, so here is the end result. I like this page. I think it's really creative and fun to look at. I love all the little designs and the attention to detail. Comment down below which one of the combos is your favorite. The next prompt was a pretty quick one. It was called Create a Page from the Past. Attach something from the past here. Photos, documents, old drawings, etc. Weirdly enough, I wasn't able to find many old drawings that I had done. I really thought I had a lot more. I even made a video where I showed my kindergarten artwork a couple years ago. You can go check that out if you want. I think what happened was a couple months back, I was reorganizing my room, decluttering it, and I ended up throwing a whole bunch of old copies I had. It could be that one of them had my old drawings in it and I threw it away. Anyways, so I went to the back of my desk's cabinet and picked up an old sketchbook I had laying around. This was actually my first sketchbook of 2021. There's actually a video of my final sketchbook flip through on this channel as well. I'll also link that in the description and you can check it out if you want. So these drawings are about 3.5 years old. That's crazy that 2021 was 4 years ago almost. Anyways, even though it hurt, I did cut out a couple of drawings from the sketchbook pages. I really felt bad doing that because in some cases there was actually drawings on the backside of the paper. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I stuck all the drawings in trying to make a collage kind of scrapbook kind of situation so it all looked good together. I also printed out a paper with an old style, like antique book paper kind of design on it. Also ripped a bit of that up and stuck it in different places just to add the, it's a past page effect to it. That's about it. Here is the final result of this page. It's fine. I mean, it's not my favorite page, definitely. Even though I tried to make everything look aesthetically pleasing together, it still just looks kind of random. And these drawings aren't even that crazy old. I wish I could have had like even older drawings to put here. But it's okay, I mean, this is also fine. The following prompt is create a fantasy home. Design a home in, and you can already see I chose the fantasy location, Mushroom Land. I've always liked drawing mushrooms. I don't know what it is about me and drawing mushrooms, but like, I've done a bullet journal spread with them. I just feel like it's so fun and cute, and it reminds me of like cottagecore vibes. I didn't want to draw any like complicated buildings because that's not really my thing. I've also said this before. But when I finally got the idea to just draw a mushroom land like with all these big mushroom houses, I was so excited. I not only drew that on the right page, I also drew the entire scenery. So on the left page, there's a waterfall. Behind that, there's mountains, there's forests, more little mushrooms, trees, logs, stones, pebbles, everything you can think of. I then went in with, yes, you guessed it right, watercolor paint. If you've been watching my Create This Book episodes recently, then you would definitely know that I have become such a huge fan of watercolor. I use it for a majority of my pages. Use in the present tense technically isn't the correct form anymore because I am finished with the book at the time I'm recording this. But yeah, even now when I'm going to be drawing something random in my sketchbook or so, I will definitely be sticking to watercolor most of the time. Also, is it just me who finds it so satisfying to watch a coloring time-lapse? They're so relaxing to watch, like getting something done and then looking back at it. Here's some real-time painting, which is also satisfying but in its own way. I'm gonna put some music in the background and you can watch me paint the entire rest of this page. Here I accidentally realized that I painted green where the sky was supposed to be, so I fixed that up. In the end, I went in with my Prismacolors on top of the original paintings just to make everything look a bit more vibrant and pigmented. Now I'm just doing some shading and blending and final touch-ups. Here's how it turned out. I'm pretty happy with it. Honestly, I really love the entire setting. The mushrooms, of course, the pop of color that the red adds. Also, it's just giving me cottage fairy tale vibes, and I love that. The next prompt is called Create Unlikely Art. Make art out of ordinary objects. Household objects, numbers, logos, for example. It was going to be pretty difficult to actually find these objects physically and then make art out of them. So because in the instructions it said to make something out of, for example, numbers, I decided to first of all write art, so like big bubble letters. And inside of these bubble letters, I drew the numbers. Then I colored everything with different colored pencils, so there was one base background color for each of the letters, and then the numbers inside were all in different colors. Then I moved on to painting the background. I did this with watercolor and my bigger paintbrush. The good thing about my bigger paintbrush is that it absorbs a lot more paint a lot quicker, and that means painting the backgrounds goes a lot quicker too. Basically, for each letter block, I did a different background color for that specific square. So for the A, you can see I did this tealish. For the R, I did this pinkish magenta, but you couldn't really see me paint it because it got out of frame. And the T, I did a blue because it was orange for the letter and blue contrasts with orange really well. Then you can see I painted in the proper background, so the rest of the pages with a yellowish kind of mustardy color. That's about it for this page, once again, so here is the final result. It's a good prompt. I mean, I was able to keep it simple, but also make it look nice, which was really my goal for the last few pages because I didn't want to be taking too much time because I was dedicated to be finishing the book in the summer. I think it's cute, and it's nice that there's so much happening in the center of the page, but then the rest of the page is left open. The next and final prompt of this video is called Create Cuts Through Layers. Cut shapes through several pages in a magazine or newspaper at once. Glue the pieces here. Since you had to cut through layers, I decided to use these catalogs that you get from the supermarket and cut different shapes into the magazine all at once. I made lots of hearts, circles, and then the rest were just like random like triangles and rectangles. This took so much glue because I made so many little pieces and I had to glue each of them on. I had actually just bought a new glue stick, and by the time I was done with this entire page, I had used up quite a bit of the glue actually. So here's me actually sticking on the bits after I had cut them out. It's so satisfying to look back at this, especially after putting it in a time lapse. I'm gonna put some music on and you guys can enjoy looking at this as well. Here is the end result of this page. As you can see, there are so many layers. I just kept adding these little shapes that I cut on top of each other. Now we have a really nice layered collage. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and liked the artwork I made in it. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and leave a thumbs up. The next episode, so episode 24, is going to be the finale episode. In that video, I'm going to be doing the create an ending page, so the last page of this book where you have to make the official ending. And I'll also be talking about my overall thoughts on the book and my experience with it. Then, since that episode will technically be the last episode of this series, I'm going to be filming the final flip through and posting it. Stay tuned. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. It's crazy how this series that I've been doing for 4 years is finally going to be coming to an end. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!